Hello everybody, Jamie here, back for another Minecraft video. And today is going to be a tour of MrRokoko's RMS Aquitania. Uh, no need for introductions really. Everybody knows the Aquitania. She was the longest serving express ocean liner of the 20th century. She was the only major ocean liner to serve in both world wars. She was the last four-funneled ship at the time of her scrapping, and she was nicknamed the Ship Beautiful by her army of loyal passengers in the 1920s. She was laid down in December 1910 under the yard number 409. She was launched April 21st, 1913, christened by the Countess of Derby. She was acquired by Cunard on the 24th of May, 1914. She sailed her maiden voyage on May 30th of that year, and she was in service from 1914 to 1949, which is 35 years. And she was out of service February 21st, 1950, and she was scrapped in Scotland. She had capacity for 618 first, 614 second, and 2004 third class with a crew of 972. And she ended her career as the longest serving Cunard vessel, which stood for 6 years until overtaken by the RMS Scythia. She steamed 3 million miles, which includes over 450 round voyages, and she carried 1.2 million passengers throughout her career. So, yeah, that being said, let's get on with the tour. Now, Aquitania was called the Ship Beautiful, and that may be for her interiors, it may be for her exterior, but in my personal opinion, I'm uh I'm not I'm not the biggest fan of her exterior. Her bow is way too long, and her forward superstructure is just way too tall and flat. And this was made even worse with the bridge. I see he has done I believe this is the enclosed bridge variant of Aquitania. Wait, no. No, this is the launch version. Uh, the raised platform at the top of the bridge was added later, and that only ruined her forward look even more. Uh, I do like Aquitania's uh, stern very much. Aquitania looks best when she's viewed like facing facing looking forward from the stern, in my personal opinion. But there's one thing about Aquitania that cannot be denied, is that her interiors were extraordinary, save for two main issues, which I will dive into today. But with that being said, let's get on with the tour. We will start in third, then we will move our way to second, and then we will move our way to first. So, let's move on to third. So here we have their entrance, and right away we come to my biggest issue with Aquitania. Her third class public rooms, or should I say, the lack thereof. Now, Aquitania, unlike Lusitania and Mauritania, at launch, she did not have any public rooms for third class, save for their dining room. It just consisted of large open space like this. Now, in comparison to the competition, like, say, the Olympic class, or even her fleet mates, Lusitania and Mauritania, this was, it's kind of a downgrade, in my personal opinion, but Yeah. So that's the main issue I have with her third class. But with that being said, other than that, her third class is fine. You see a typical third class cabin. It's pretty standard. You have 4 bunks and a wash basin. Uh, that's really all you need in life is 4 bunks and a wash basin. So let me try and find their dining room, which I believe, yes, right here. Now this is the third class dining room, and it does extend a long, long, long way back. Um, like the decor is nice. Like I like the wood paneling more than the plain white walls of the Olympic class. It's very nice. It's very elegant. And they do have something else, I believe. Oh, do not go in there. That is first class. Oopsie doopsie. How do I get to it? Can I go further out? Looks like I'm gonna have to go into spectator mode. They did have something that the Olympic class did not provide, nor Lusitania, and that is I believe it's down here. Where is it? Is it here? They had a barber shop in third class. Now, I didn't know this until I checked the plans before I started the tour today. But yeah, they have a barber shop in third class, so you'll love to see it. So that's Aquitania's third class. Very nice. Like my main issue is the lack of public rooms. However, there's one thing about Aquitania which I absolutely love, and that is her second class. And we will take a look at that right now. Here we have the entrance, and then you have the lounge immediately aft. Very big, very spacious. Aquitania was among the largest ships in the world at the time. The only ships rivaling her in size would be the Imperator, Vaterland, Bismarck, and Olympic, and maybe Britannic. The decor is very nice. And this type of decor would be for second class would be used on pretty much all of Cunard's interwar liners. So Aquitania paved the way. Here we have the ladies' room slash library and writing room slash drawing room slash whatever you want to call it. And I love this room. It's gorgeous. It's quaint. In one photo, there's not a pillar here, so I guess this pillar was added at a later date, but you do have a bookshelf, all your necessities. Yeah, it's just a very calm, cozy space. So here we have the smoking room. I love this room, once again. Very spacious. You do have a raised ceiling, and Aquitania has this very interesting feature, something like this, which we will talk about soon. And aft you do have the veranda for second class, which no ship at the time offered second class. So, yeah, another Aquitania W. Good for you, Aquitania. But, like I said, in the score, I am going to acknowledge her L's, and there are a few. So let's just go take a look at a cabin. This will be your typical cabin, your second-class cabin on Aquitania. You have 2 beds with curtains, a drawer, and a wash basin. So, pretty standard for the time. It's really all you can expect. So let me go find the barber shop, because barber shop, yeah. Here's the barber shop. It's big, it's expansive, vast improvement in size over the ones on Lusitania and Mauritania, and the Olympic class as well. Deck service. They have room service in second class? That'd be really interesting if they could. So let's head down to deck. So they also have a gymnasium, which the Ball and Trio offered to its second class, and Britannic would have offered to her second class. Now, my issue with this room is that it overlooks, like, I'm pretty sure this is the third class. Yeah, it overlooks the third class promenade, so these third class passengers can, like, peek in at second class, which, yeah, no. Yeah, no thanks. But, forward, we have the second class dining room. Now, Lucy, Mauritania, and Aquitania, they all had 2-story dining rooms in second class, which the Olympic class did not have. And as we shall soon see, they all had double height dining rooms in first class as well, which the Olympic class also lacked. But yeah, I just love this room. It's nice, cozy, and warm. You do have kind of a grand entrance into the dining room as well. I wish they had added like a mural there or something, but I digress. So let's head back to the stairwell. Let's fly out. And we are getting to the real meat and potatoes of Aquitania. But before I do that, let me discuss this. So Aquitania had a feature that was really only a handful of ships, which is through this raised section of promenade, fresh light could be supplied to this interior cabin right here. So this cabin gets fresh light and air, whereas this cabin gets it from the from a porthole. So multiple cabins, like what would normally have been in an interior cabin, is now sort of a exterior cabin. And a side effect of this is that you also get better views of the ocean on the promenade. Fortunately, that also leads to one of the issues with Aquitania, and you can see it right here. And don't you worry, we will get to that. But let's take a look at the public rooms. So here we arrive in Aquitania's main foyer. Love this room. Love it so much. It's gorgeous. We also have the White Lounge, which kind of became a staple on every Cunard ship until Queen Elizabeth II, really. And I love it. I love it so much. It's the Veranda Cafe on Lusitania, Mauritania, but done way better. And I'm all here for it. We have the library. Now, my biggest issue with this room is that it does not extend out to this side right here. Instead, they put a bunch of staterooms there, unlike on Lusitania and Mauritania, where it extends the full width of the ship. And that's really what's holding this room back, in my opinion. Because other than that, it's a gorgeous room. I just wish that it extended the full width of the ship. Moving forward through here, we have these petite salons. That's what I kind of call them. Similar to those little lounges in Normandy's Grand Salon. Just little areas. And here we have the Georgian Lounge. Now, I love this room to death. I always have. I always will. This room is gorgeous. This room is iconic. And there's really nothing more that needs to be said. It's just a great room overall. And it was one of the first public rooms on any ship to feature a stage. So yeah, if we head to the other side of the room, we arrive at the Long Gallery. Now, the Long Gallery was a major thing on ships of the 20s and the 30s, and it all started with Aquitania. Aquitania was the first. We also see the hairdresser / barber over here. Once again, way bigger than the one on Lusitania. And it's also connected, like it's right next door to these cabins right here, which is very nice. Very thoughtful of Cunard. Now, we have maybe my favorite room on Aquitania. That is her smoking room. Words cannot express how much I love this room. And this room wouldn't be possible if it weren't for this. If I can find it. Right here. The engine uptakes. If these engine uptakes were not split, I don't think that this room would have looked as good. And we will talk about uptakes at a later point in the tour, but yeah, this room is just gorgeous. I love it so much. This is easily like the best Edwardian era smoking room to me. Maybe only rivaled by Lusitania's, but yeah. Oh, that's crew. This is crew. Oopsie, avoid that. But I've given Aquitania so much praise that I have to talk about the elephant in the room. I'm saying this out of love. What were you thinking, Cunard? These suites are such a letdown. Like, I can't put it into words how upset these suites make me. You did so good with these public rooms, and you just choked at the last hurdle. I do not understand it. Like, I genuinely don't. And they're all like this. I'm serious. They're all like this. Like, what are we doing, Nard? Why are there hands? Whatever. Like, this is the same company that made Lusitania, by the way. And you're telling me that you make the suites of like your massive flagship. Like, that's a risky view for a bathroom. That's a hella risky view. Um, like you make your new flagship look like this. Like this is a suite and we don't even have a sitting room. Don't call it a suite if it doesn't have a sitting room. FYI. I think there's like one suite that's differently designed. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Now this is fine. Like I don't have issues with this. I just wish that the rest of these suites were uniquely designed, you know, like actual suites. Just laughably, it's just laughable. It's so embarrassing. Um, for Aquitania. Now that issue was partially remedied in the 20s. I think they fixed a lot of the decor issues in the cabins, but yeah. So I'm actually going to skip to the pool really quick, and then I'm going to do the dining stuff. So this is the pool, and the gymnasium is right adjacent. I love that. I love how convenient that is. I've never liked it when a pool is separate from like a gymnasium on a ship, but that's my personal opinion. I think it's really interesting how the Olympic class pool is like just white paint over steel, and Aquitania's is paneling, and then you have the Imperator, which is just crazy. But Aquitania doesn't have a spa, which is tragic, low key, but what can you do? So let's go into the dining room. Now, I love this room. I do. Some people don't, but I think that's because the well is squared. Now, there is a reason for this. So, Aquitania's interior designer wanted Aquitania to have split funnel uptakes, like the ball and trio. And his plan was for Aquitania's dining room to feature like seating on two levels. So this area right here, similar to Lusitania in Mauritania. Kennard said no, vetoed him. I think the only split uptakes they let him do were the engine uptakes, which, like we saw back in the smoking room. So what was originally going to be 3 decks high ended up being 2 decks high, and because of that, they didn't have enough room on the in the main dining room to fit all the first class passengers. So they had to come up with a way to fit more. Enter the grill room. This was their way to get around like that. This was their way to make more seating to fit all the first class passengers in. So this was kind of Aquitania's way of, you know, challenging like the a la carte restaurants on the ball and trio and the Olympic class. But it's really funny because the style of decor in this room, Jacobean, is the same as the style is the same style in the Olympic class first class dining room. That's also Jacobean in terms of decor. So I mean, obviously, of course, it's executed differently, but like the general style is the same. You do have a an express lift to there as well, so nice. But anyways, that is Aquitania. I hope you all enjoyed the tour. Maybe you learned something new. Maybe you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on this iconic ship. Uh, as for future videos, I'm probably going to do a tour of Lusitania. And then up next will be Duke's Normandy, which will be split into 3 parts. Part 1 will be covering crew, Part 2 will be covering tourist class and third class, and Part 3 will be covering first. Expect to see a Key 3 update video coming out in the next 2 weeks or so. I am locked in, so to speak, and I am working very, very hard on her to get the last of those huge public rooms knocked out. Then it's 3 or 4 decks of cabins and cabins and cabins. But yeah, other than that, this has been Jimmy on another Minecraft ship tour. I hope you all have a good day, and I will see you all in next one. So, bye for now, everyone.